Hi, this is Yoga Fitness Fusion, and this practice is a fusion of yoga, including yoga poses, movements that are coordinated with the breath, and a slow, mindful pace, and fused with fitness elements such as using weights and repetition. This is probably my most requested video to make. If you've practiced with me before at the studio, this was always done at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning because when you complete this class, you feel very accomplished. It's fitness, it's stretch, and it's in a very slow, mindful pace, so you don't ever feel very sore or out of breath at all. I do encourage you, if you're new to me and you're new to practice like this, just watch the video through first. Look at all the moves, make sure they're right for you, start thinking through any adjustments that you want to make. So to do this video, I do recommend some equipment. It's ideal to have a block and a strap and some hand weights. I have 3-pound hand weights. There's some poses that you might want to go a little heavier for, some you might want to go lighter for, and of course you never have to use any of the weights. If you simply want to do the moves, you're still going to get a lot of benefit out of that. So grab your equipment and we shall begin. We're going to start standing in mountain pose. So take a moment to get settled into your posture, feeling your feet root down, growing nice and tall through the body, feeling strong through the center and light on the outside. And we'll start with a couple deep breaths. So when you're ready with an inhale, let that inhale sweep your arms up, stretching up, reaching up. And as you exhale, release your hands back down. This will start to set the pace that we're going to go throughout this whole practice. Inhale, nice and slow, taking your time. And exhale, release. And then this time we're going to move into the palm tree series with an inhale, sweeping up, interlocking your fingers up top here, pointing up, and with an exhale, take a side stretch. If you've practiced with me before, you know I love the palm tree series. Inhaling center, and exhale to the other side. It stretches the spine in all directions that the spine goes, so it's a great warm-up. Inhaling back center, exhale into a vertical twist, twisting arms open, gazing towards the back hand, inhaling arms back up, and exhale, vertical twist the other way. Hips are forward, head turns back, and try to look at the thumb, get the whole spiral through the spine. Inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale, arms out to the side with flexed wrist, and then take a big inhale and push 2 walls away, releasing the hands, the wrists, the arms, the shoulders. And then exhale, release hands behind you, interlocking fingers here. With an inhale, draw the shoulders back, open up that heart space, and with an exhale, hinge forward, relaxing into a forward fold, relaxing head and neck, letting the arms drop over, and then release the arms down to hang for a moment, stretching through the back of the legs. And when you're ready with an inhale, let that inhale sweep you back up, stretching nice and tall here, and exhale, release. And we're going to do that again. Inhale, sweep up, stretch up, interlock your fingers, point up. Exhale, take a side stretch. Take your time, feel what you're doing while you're doing it. Inhale, back center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, back center. Exhale into a vertical twist, opening the arms wide, gazing towards the back thumb. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, vertical twist the other way. Gazing back, try to see that thumb. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms wide, shoulder height. Press through the palms with an inhale. Exhale, release. Interlock your fingers behind you. Inhale, open that heart space, draw the shoulders back, lift tall through the top of the head, and exhale, hinge forward, letting the arms drop over. If you want a little more for your chest and shoulders, press your palms towards one another. Let the head hang, maybe a little shake yes, shake no to release the head and neck. And then relax the arms down here. From here, we're going to walk our feet back into a downward facing dog. So start to walk your feet back. Stretching into that down dog, lifting up the tailbone, relaxing head and neck still, and then we'll come forward into plank, lower down, inhale into up dog, and exhale into down dog. Now, if that is not in your practice and does not feel good to your body, as you inhale, come forward, dropping to the knees, tabletop, lower to the ground here. Inhale for a cobra pose. Exhale, release it. Inhale back to tabletop, and then exhale back to down dog. Now, feel free to do any that you choose or omit that completely. We do that a few times at the beginning of this. And then from here, we're going to walk our feet up to your hands, and we're going to rise into standing, but then we're going to continue into toe stand, lifting up high onto the toes. We'll hold it for 3 breaths. Squeeze all the muscles towards the bone. Squeeze the side body center. This is balance, strength, stretch, whole body coordination. And then we're going to drop into chair. So heels go down, arms come out in front of you, and sit back into chair pose. With chair, we want to draw the shoulder blades to the back of the body and far away from the ears. The hips are sitting back as far as you like. You can bend the knees as much as you like. Core is engaged. Lots of good warm up here. 3 breaths. And then with an inhale, stretch back up. And with an exhale, swan dive into a forward fold. We're going to repeat that whole series. So again, walking back to down dog, dropping to tabletop if you like. And then we'll move out to plank. Lower down. Upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog, any way you want to get there. Or again, you can omit this part. Walk your feet back to your hands. Rise back to standing. And then again, come into toe stand. Toe stand is no one's favorite posture, but it is so healthy for your body. It strengthens feet and ankles and knees and hips, everything from head to toe. We're only holding it for 3 breaths. This fitness fusion practice is a little bit of a briefer version than some of the formats, but it's a good one to put on this channel first. And then chair. Sit back. Nice deep breath here. Shoulders are drawn back, far from the ears. Feeling that energy move into our lower body. We're warming up. And then when you're ready, inhale, come out of that. And exhale back into a swan dive. Pause here this time. And we're going to take a giant step back with the right leg into a low crescent lunge. So drop that knee back. Relax it down. Sweep the arms up overhead. Let the hips drop in a little bit, tailbones pointed to the floor. Then bring your hands to the back of your head. With an inhale, draw the elbows open. Shoulder blades float to the back side of your body. Strengthening, warming up those upper backs and shoulders. And then you're going to release your hands down. Right hand goes over left knee, left arm wraps behind. You're going to take a little twist, gazing to the back. Come back center. Do a centering stretch here, sweeping arms up. And then bring your hands down by the front foot, and we're going to sit back into reverse lunge. So hips go back. You can scoot that front foot a little farther forward if you like. You can be here with a pointed toe to get a nice stretch through the front of your foot. You can flex the foot if you like. Whatever feels good in your body. And then do bring it into a flex. Keeping the right hand down, bring your left hand to your hip. Left leg is forward, left hand to the hip, and take a little twist. Draw those toes back here, and you'll feel the stretch and the release through the IT band on the whole outside of the leg. And then unwind back center. Make your way back into a crescent lunge, and then step up. Let's take an inhale, halfway lift here. Make sure we're nice and center. And then relax and step back with the left leg. Drop that knee down, coming up into crescent lunge. Hands go to the back of the head. Draw those elbows open, warming up those upper backs, pressing fingers into the head, head into the fingers. And then hands come down for the twist. Left hand over right knee, right hand's behind, take that twist. Come back center with a stretch. And then hands come back down. Straightening out the front leg for reverse lunge. Sitting the hips back. This mat is a very sticky mat. It's hard to scoop my foot at times. I like to do a little point first because I do like to stretch the top of my foot. And then when we go in the IT band stretch, that's where I will flex that foot. Left hand now stays down, right hand to the hip. Take that twist, drawing that stretch through the outside of the right leg. And then back center, easing back into a standing forward fold. And then when you're ready with an inhale, let's rise up here. And release. And that's our warm up. We're going to go into our first exercise now. We kind of work top down. We work bigger muscles before we work smaller muscle groups, kind of traditional fitness approach there. So we're going to grab weights. Again, I'm using 3-pound weights. You can do this whole practice without weights or use whatever ones you like. We're going to stand at the top of the mat. We're going to take a giant step back with the left leg so the right foot's forward into a high crescent lunge. Then we're going to bring the weights up to the shoulders, and we're going to do an overhead press with a lunge. So when you're ready, press up, straightening that front leg, and as you exhale, back down. And again, the pace of this whole practice is slow. Moving with the breath mindfully, strategically. I will do my best to keep pace and to count properly. It's difficult for me at times to do that, so I apologize if sometimes we're doing 10, sometimes we're doing 12 reps. Usually goes over. Here's 5. We're going to go for 10. 6. Using that front foot to push the floor away as you rise. The back leg is basically along for the ride, and as you dip down here, you'll get a little bit of stretch. We're moving slow enough that we can ease in and out of stretches. 2 more. 1 more. And then we're going to step to the top of the mat, put the weights down, and we're going to flow through. Now, this is a key piece of this whole practice, that we keep the energy moving so it doesn't pool into any of those muscle groups that we're using. But again, you can omit this or modify it. So inhale, exhale into a swan dive. Walking back to a downward facing dog. Coming forward to a plank. Lower down. Up dog. And downward facing dog. Walk the feet back to the hands. And then rise back here. Okay, we'll do the other side now. So grab your weights. This time we're stepping back with the left leg so the right foot's forward. Now, bringing your weights up to your shoulders. This time point your elbows forward. Shoulders still back and down. And then when you're ready, press up. And ease back in. Nice, slow pace. Keeping that knee aimed right out over that big toe. Easing in. Good. The pace of this actually makes it harder. So even though we're using light weights, they tend to feel heavier faster. Nice and slow in both directions as we press up and as release down. I believe this is 6. I need a counter. Someone to just come in and count for me. 8. 2 more. 9. And last one right here. Good. Then we're going to step up to the top of the mat and we're going to flow. Nice and light, whatever version of this you want. But this keeps the energy up. It keeps the energy flowing. Walking back to down dog. And flow through. I love these. I feel mighty when I do those kinds of push-ups. And then walk your feet back to your hands. And with an inhale, sweep up, stretch up. And exhale, release. Okay, we're going into our next exercise, which is going to use the same weights, and we're going to do a lateral raise with a warrior 2 posture. So go ahead and grab your weights. Right foot forward, left foot back. Now, setting up a warrior two posture, your lead leg is going to point straight forward. And again, that knee is going to aim right out over that big toe. Back foot is about parallel with the edge of your mat. Tailbone's tucked, hip bones are pointed forward. Palms face one another to start. And when you're ready with an inhale, you're going to straighten that front leg and float your arms up. And as you exhale, release and bend. And again, as you bend that knee, guide it out over that front big toe. That knee, especially if the muscles are tight, it's going to want to tip in. And since we're doing repetitions, we want to make sure we have good alignment. Good. Shoulders are soft and down, heart's lifted. And we're just floating. Imagine floating right through the back of the wrists. Just float the weights up and float them down. I think this is 6, 7. Personal trainer for a long time, and I always tell people muscles can't count. They can't. It goes more based, they change based on how it feels. Did they feel stressed? Did they feel taxed? Something to change from. So if I lose count, I think I have one more. That might have been 11 or 12. Okay, like I said. Okay, so we're going to step to the top of the mat now. Lower the weights down. And then let's flow. With the stretching up. A swan dive, walk it back, and take that nice flow through. Good. Get a stretch. Downward facing dog. Walk the feet back to the hands. Sweep up. And release. Same for the other side. Grab your weights. This time, the left foot's going to be the lead. Right foot steps back. Get a nice comfortable space between your feet for that warrior two stance. Knee points right out over that big toe. Tailbone's tucked. Hip bones pointed forward. And when you're ready, inhale, come up. Exhale, bend in. Good. Take your time. If you think you're going too slow, go slower. You'll get more out of it. You're putting in the time to do this. Now we'll do it in a way that it's really going to benefit your body. This pace also, including these yoga elements, also helps keep you safe and healthy. Because we're going at a pace that you know if your body's not liking something or something's not quite right, alignment's off, you have a chance to feel that and respond to it. This is 6. Good. 7. 8, 9, last one right here. Just float those arms up. Good. And then we're going to take it to the top of the mat. Set your weights down. And this next part is what I call a core break. It's a break from the upper body, and we'll do some core work. So stretch up. And swan dive. Walk it back to down dog. And flow through with a nice stretch. But now here, down dog. Drop the knees to the floor and come over onto your bum. We're setting up for a 3-boat series. So, bringing yourself with your knees bent, feet on the floor, shoulders back and down, spines nice and straight as best you can. First one we're going to do is classic boat. To get into it, we're going to tip back onto the hips and let the feet come up. Now, options here, you can keep like this. You can point your hands forward. You can bring your hands out however you like. The more you straighten the legs, more challenging it's going to be. We're going to do 5 breaths. Shoulders back and down, spines nice and straight. Let's do this 3. 2 more. Good. Keeping that pace, that breath pace. And then we're just going to take a constructive rest in a seated child. So just drop your feet and relax the body forward. You can bow the head down if you like that, but make sure the front side of your body that we're working is nice and soft, and the back side is pretty relaxed too. Just a brief break here. And this is a core break to let our upper bodies get a little rest. So we're headed back, a couple more things to do there. Let's go into the second one now. So when you're ready, tip back into that boat. Feet come up. This time, interlock your fingers right about at the solar plexus. Shoulders are back and down, and then we're going to twist to one side, back center, twist to the other side. We're going to do 5 of these. Twist, just a little twist, taking your time. That's 3. 2 more. 1 more. Should have said this at the beginning, but it would be a great class to do with some music. So I hope you have some music going on in the background just to keep that vibe up a little bit while you're enduring some of the challenges. Okay, let's stay here and just soften and rest for 1 more breath, and then we have 1 more version of this boat to do. So when you're ready, we're going to sit back up. Shoulders are back and down. Nice straight spine for boat. Tip back, feet up, arms release, and then extend your right leg forward and bring it back in. Left leg. And in. 4 more like that. Good. 3 more. Trying to keep that straight spine. 2. And 1 more. And then this time, we're going to draw the knees in and roll down onto your back for a real rest. Taking a moment, it's brief, but you want to do a little rocking side to side. Sometimes when we do boat, as we're strengthening our core, it takes a lot of strain on the low back. So here's an opportunity to just let that relax and release. 1 more breath here, and then we're going to come back up to standing. So any way you like to make your way up to standing, I like to do a nice finishing stretch. Okay, moving on. The next exercise that we're going to do is going to be a yoga squat with a bicep curl. So grab your weights. Now, if you are using different weights, this might be an opportunity to use heavier ones. These muscles, shoulders tend to tax pretty quick. There's a lot of muscles in the shoulder and they aren't that big, so they tend to tax quickly. The biceps probably have some extra energy. So whatever weights you want to use, and then we're going to step wide into a yoga squat. Toes are pointed slightly out. And as we go into that yoga squat, again, mindfully getting the knees to aim out over that big toe. Shoulders are back and down. Spine's nice and tall. Tailbone slightly tucked. And then when you're going to drop in, you're going to curl up. And then press up and release. Good. We're going for 10. That's 2. I hope this microphone is not catching the crunchiness of my knees. Here's 4. Good. Aim that knee right out over that big toe. Tailbone drops straight down. We want to be mindful not to have an exaggerated curve in our low back as well. The core is gently drawn in on the front and in on the sides. 2 more. I think. Let's do 2 more. If we do 1 extra, that's not that big of a deal. I'd rather go extra than shortchange you. Good. Now, from here, we're going to go into an exercise called hay balers. And we're going to release one of the weights down. You're going to bring your feet to a little more narrow stance, toe heel in, or just bring them in a little bit wider than hip distance still. You're going to take the weight on the ends of the weight. You're going to sit back in a squat. Drop the weight over to the right side first. And then with an inhale, you're going to sweep that weight up, pivoting on that back leg, following the weight with your eyes. Sit back in. And again. Good. You can drop that weight all the way over to the right side. Inhale, sweep and stretch. And again, this is the pace. This is a functional fitness exercise. This is a wonderful strength, stretch, mobility exercise, but you want to go slow. That way, in case anything in your body is not enjoying it, you have a chance to respond to that feedback. Also, keep your eyes on that weight so the whole spine travels aligned. Good. 2 more. Sitting back. 1 more. Good. Okay. Now we'll set that weight down for a moment. We're going to flow through. Again, we want to keep that energy moving and flowing so it's not pooling anywhere. This will decrease the likelihood that you feel sore tomorrow. Sweep up. Swan dive. Walk yourself into downward facing dog. And let's flow. Lower down. Stretch. And downward facing dog. Walk the feet back to the hands. With an inhale, come up. And release. And again, minor adjustments. Grabbing your weight, setting up your yoga squat. Toes are pointed slightly out. This time, turn your palms just slightly out to the sides here. It's just a little different angle on the bicep muscle. Then when you're ready, drop the hips in and curl up. And straighten and release. Good. Slowly, that tailbone drops straight down. Those knees are aimed right out over the big toe. Here's 4. Do my best. 5. Trying to keep count. 6. 7. Nice and smooth. 8. 9. One more. 10. Okay. Lower one weight down. We're setting up for the hay balers. So again, the stance is just a little bit wider than hip distance. You can turn the toes slightly out. You want to stay light because we do a little bit of pivot. Drop the weight now over to the left side. And with an inhale, sweep up, stretch up, follow the weight with your eyes. Here's 2. And 3. And 4. Sitting back. 5. 6. 7. Good. 8. Keep going. 9. And 10. Okay, we're going to flow down to the floor now. We're still going to use these weights, so keep them somewhat close to where you have the rest of your equipment. And we're going to flow down to the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Oh, let's stay there for one more breath. That's a lovely stretch. And then walk back to down dog. And we'll flow through to plank, to lower, to up dog, but then down to the floor. We are going to set up for some work on our back side of our body, which is important for posture and strength and holding up the whole core. We focus often on the front side of the body, but the back side is equally important. So we're going to do crisscross X. So it's a locust variation. So bring your feet, if you're on a regular yoga mat, about to the corners of the yoga mat, and same for the arms. And then the hip bones are anchored down. And from here, when you're ready with an inhale, you're going to lift your right arm and your left leg. And just hold briefly. And exhale, release. Inhale, left arm, right leg. And release. This time, all 4s. Inhale, lift. Stretching fingers to toes. Floating the arms up and release. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, right arm, left leg, and release. Left arm, right leg, and release. All 4. Stretching fingers to toes and release. One more time through. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg, and all 4 corners. And release. Now make your way to tabletop. With an inhale, take cow pose. Giving a little arch, shoulders back and down. With an exhale, cat pose. And then back to a flat back and sit back into child. Letting the hips back, drop back onto the heels. Arms stretch out here. And then walk both hands over to one side. Place the opposite hand on top Take a deep breath with that side stretch. And then back center. And over to the other side, opposite hand on top. Deep breath with that side stretch. And then back center. Making your way into tabletop, and we're going to go into thread the needle. So scooping the left arm up, reach underneath the right arm, and lower down onto the shoulder, the side of the head. Getting that nice stretch across your upper back. And then back center. We'll do one cow and cat here. Smooth it out. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Back to a flat back, and same on the other side. Scoop your right arm underneath, lower to the shoulder and the side of the head. And then come back center. And one cow and cat. We're no more up dogs or down dogs. You may be happy to know, but here we are keeping the energy flowing. Okay, next we're going down onto our backs, and this is where you're going to want to have your equipment in reaching distance. So take a moment to figure out where you're going to be laying down, and then have your weights and your block and your strap somewhere within reaching distance, just so you don't have to move too much. And then you're going to roll down onto your back. The next exercise that we're going to do is a combination exercise. I love exercises that are whole body in nature. It's just efficient. I love efficiency. So we're going to do bridge pose with a tricep exercise called skull crushers. And you'll see why they're called that in a moment if you're not familiar with that exercise. So setting up for bridge first. Feet are hip distance apart, toes are pointed forward. We're going to press down into the four corners of the feet and lift up through the hips for bridge. From here, you want to draw your shoulder blades slightly together underneath you and press down through the shoulders so the pressure's not on the neck. Find your weights. And then stretch your arms straight up overhead. Now here, if you have the weights with the flat edges, you can gently press them together. You have to see how it feels for your shoulders first. So arms are pushed straight up, feet are pressed in the ground, hips are lifted, feel the four corners of the feet, and then bend at the elbow, lowering the weights right to the top of the head, skull crushers. And then straighten the arms nice and slow. Keep the shoulders pressed down so the pressure's off the spine. We're going to do 10. That's 2. Your lower body will give out before your upper body. Good. Taking your time. Feel the base of the big toe, base of pinky toe, inner and outer edges of the heel, lifting up through the hips. Lots of strength and stability in the glute muscles here. This is 7, I believe. 8. 2 more. 9. And 10. Okay. Now, set your weights down. We're going to do a second set of that, but we'll do a different exercise in between the sets, and we'll do double leg lowering. So from here, you're going to scoot your hands underneath your hips. You're going to bring your knees in, send your feet up towards the ceiling, and then slowly lower the feet down. And then come about halfway up. That's 1, 2. If this is too much on your core, feel free to do single legs here. Let's assume you did one in between. That's 4, 5. Draw your belly in. 6. Take your time. 7. Make these count. 8. 9. And 10. Good. And we'll have a nice stretch after this set. Because again, yoga fitness fusion, yoga fitness, we're blending both. So there's plenty of opportunities to stretch and reestablish energetic balance. So set up your bridge again. Feet hip distance apart, press into the feet, lift the hips, send the arms straight up. Feel free to clink the weights together if that's comfortable. Bend at the elbow and lower those weights straight to your skull. Checking your posture, your alignment. Again, 4 corners of the feet, base of big toe, base of pinky toe, inner and outer edge of the heel. Shoulders are pressed back and down. I think this is 5, 6, 7. Keep going. 8. Engage those hips. 9. One more. And 10. Now we don't need these anymore, so feel free to set them off to the side, out of the way. Open the arms wide, palms up. I'm going to scoot away from the wall a little bit. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat if you have a traditional mat. If not, just a wider stance with toes pointed out, and let your knees flop over to one side for a windshield wiper twist. Both bridge and the leg lowering kind of engages the hip flexors. This is a nice way to release that. Soften through the hips. Just let the legs be heavy for a moment. We're headed into the home stretch. And then back center. And drop the knees over to the other side. Good. Just taking a moment to let the energy soften, shift. Again, we just don't want it to pool up in the parts of the body where we did the repetitions. We want the work, but we want to make sure the energy is still flowing in a healthy way. And then back center, and then bring your feet back in line with your hips. The next exercise is double knee twist. And so for this one, you're going to want your block if you have it. If not, it's not that big of a deal. Bring your knees up to a right angle, heels pointed straight forward, and flex the feet. Place the block between the knees with the long edge running down the calves. Now you want to try to keep your knees right in line with your hips rather than bringing your knees up towards your chest at all. Arms go in the T position to help balance, and then drop your knees slowly over to one side without letting them touch. Just hover and pause, and then inhale back center, and exhale to the other side. We're going to do 8 sets of these. That's 1. Here comes 2. Take your time. Slow lift, slow lower, strengthening the oblique muscles, part of the whole core system. Good. Here's 3. I love these. I think these feel so good on my spine. I love to work these muscles. Just feels healthy. And again, you can see you don't really need the block. The block just helps isolate the hips. Holding the block there helps you not lift and lower with your hips so that you are using your oblique, your waist muscles. You could use a pillow, anything. And here I go chatting and losing count. 6. She says with a big question mark. Again, I'd rather go over than under. So this is 7. And muscles, I said it before, but it's true. Muscles can't count. They don't know. They don't know if they did 7 reps or 10 reps or anything. This is last one, I'm pretty sure. They just know how they feel. They change from the feeling, the sensation. So as long as you're getting something out of it, we're good. Okay, lower that down. We have one more strength exercise. I call it the 4-part crunch. Last chance to kind of fire up our core, and then we're going to do some closing stretches. So for this, you're going to again bring your legs to a right angle. You're going to bring your hands behind your head. And it's a 4-part crunch. We're going to do 10. So crunch up, trying to clear the shoulder blades. Stretch your legs forward. Bring the knees back in and release your crunch. That's 1. Here comes 2. Stretch and bring in. Release. 3. Try to clear those shoulder blades. Good. 4. 5. You should feel this. 6. I do. 7. 8. Woo. 9. And beautiful 10. And then just draw your knees in for a moment. Maybe a little movement, rolling the low back into the ground, releasing anything that might have gotten tight on the backside while you were doing that. And then we're going to do a lovely closing stretch sequence. So if you have a strap, and if you don't, I do recommend you get something, a soft rope or a belt or a tie or something like that to be able to do this comfortably, because we're just releasing the lower body here. So when you're ready, take the strap, Bring your right leg in, put the strap around the foot, and extend that heel up to the ceiling. You can straighten the left leg out. Now, if it is pulling on your low back at all, keep that knee bent in and try to push the tailbone down towards the floor. Get a good grip on the strap and gently draw the foot back. Now from here, you can point and flex the foot. You can spread the toes, and then maybe add just a little bit more release to the back of the leg, sending that heel up to the ceiling. Just take a moment and notice what you feel, and where you feel that tightness, use the exhale to release it. And then we're going to take the strap in the right hand. So we've got the right leg, right hand, and draw that leg out towards the side. Still leading from the heel. Your left arm can stretch out a little more for a counterbalance, and try to keep the pelvis level on the floor. And if that left hip's trying to pop up, place your hand on it and gently press down so the pelvis stays level. We're essentially in an upside down triangle right now, and this is a wonderful way to release the inner thigh muscles. And then use the strap, rather than firing up the inner thigh muscles, to draw the foot back up, switch hands on the strap, and guide the leg over to the left side. Back into that IT band stretch, the outside of the leg stretch, and right arm can stretch out for the counterbalance. You can use that strap to draw the foot towards your head to get a little bit more. You can, I am too close to the wall, but you can point and flex your foot if you like, or do a little rotation at the ankle if those muscles got tight. And then here, we're going to bend the knee in here and roll back with a bent knee and release the strap. Take a center stretch, arms up, legs long, and then relax the arms down. And we're going to do the same for the other side. So left leg comes in, strap goes on the foot, extend that heel up to the ceiling, get a good grip, draw the foot back towards your head. And again, you can send energy out the right heel. You can bend that leg in. If there's any tension in the low back, take care of that part of your body. And just use the strap to get a little bit more. And again, that tightness is energy that's built up. It's stuck. And so as you exhale, mindfully try to soften it. You don't need to push through it or pull through it. Let the exhale, the energy, the prana, the life force help release that tightness. Hand goes into the, or strap goes in the left hand. Draw that left leg out. Taking that inner thigh stretch. And again, the strap is here if you want to use it to add more. It's really to take the pressure off the muscles so you can soften the muscles while you're doing the stretch. If you don't have a strap, you're going to stay with muscles engaged trying to hold that leg up. And then bring it over to the other side. Cross the body here. Flex foot's going to give you a little bit more around the ankle. And the lower part of the leg, you can point and flex if you like. You can do a little circle. Whatever feels good to your body, moving slow and mindful so you know and can respond to that. And then we're going to bend the knee here and roll back. Release the strap and just set it off to the side. Bend both knees in. We have one more stretch. Cross your right leg over your left and let the knee drop open. Bring the knees towards the chest and grab behind the thigh. And again, if this is too tight, use that strap around the back of the leg. Now gently, mindfully press the tailbone down to the floor so the hips are nice and level. That's going to give you a little extra release in the glute. And then maybe one more circle each way around the ankles just to make sure we did those toe stands. And if you had not been doing that kind of work to strengthen your feet and ankles, you might feel a little build up there. So give a little circle gently around. And then we're going to lower these feet and switch sides. So left leg crosses over, bring the knees in. Tailbones pressed to the ground, so the back of the hips is level on the floor. Maybe some attention again to the feet and ankle if you want. And one more breath. And then feet come down. Let's take one final centering stretch with arms up and legs long. Exhale with a big sigh. And just pausing for a moment. Noticing how you feel and maybe thanking yourself for going through with that practice and trying this. And then that's where we shall end. So that completes Yoga Fitness Fusion, the first one, the abridged version of that. I hope you enjoyed this practice. I hope it served your needs, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you.